This is Rick Orr, CEO and co-founder of RealSavvy. I'm going to show you how to create new pages with your website builder. To access your website builder, you simply type cms.realsavvy.com, and then you'll use your email and password that we would have sent you in the early kind of onboarding process for your new site. But for a quick tour of the builder, all of your pages are collected here. You can see that the site has a number of pages. I'm going to show you how to clone and create a new page here in just 1 minute. You also have access to your team. And so if you have team members to add and whatnot, you can see them here if you want to edit their profile. There's also a dashboard link that you'll receive from us that makes this even easier. If you wish to make blog posts, you can do so here. One important thing, and we'll have a separate video on blog posts, is when you have something in draft, you need to be sure to actually come into settings and publish it whenever you're ready. And that will make it visible to the public. A little bit of a hidden feature there. We would have set your style at the beginning, but if you did want to see what other fonts and things might look like, you can do so here. I'm not going to do that on this particular video. Back to the menu, you have a few settings that, and by the way, it does not autosave. You have to manually save. So be mindful that if you've done a lot of work, you want to save often. There are some elements of SEO and what it looks like when you share your website here that you can access. I'll show you that on a per page level in a minute. And then if you had an old URL that perhaps you wanted to redirect, you would simply do so here. But again, email support@realsavvy.com and we can help you with that. Let's focus on some pages. So one great way to start the creation of a page is to just copy one that already exists. So featured neighborhoods is a popular one. And so you can have, kind of a grid of different images and whatnot that will link out to your individual searches, making it very easy for people, particularly on a mobile device, as you can see what it would look like here, to select select one of these cards and start browsing. You can also see what it would look like on an iPad and, of course, a desktop. The blocks are the parts of the website that you may want to use. So we're going to set you up with a default set of blocks, obviously, but you might choose to add a content card, which would look like this. And you could make edits to it by simply coming in here and typing spec homes Austin, right? Or something that's very specific to something that you wanted to do. And then ultimately you can decide, is it going to go to another page or do you want it to go to a URL on the site? And you can change the image very easily, like here. Find a good image. Let's just go with that one. And that's how you update these blocks. When you're back in the list of blocks, you can also slide these things around. So if you wanted the content cards just below the search, they're going to live there now. And again, if you wanted to edit it, you would just simply come in here and start editing it. This is the cover. I'm not going to mess with that right now, but let's get rid of that content card section. I can show you how to delete. Actually, before I do that, I'll show you how to name them. Sometimes you might want to have something like call to action, page links or something, right? And that way you know what that block is. And so it's very easy to rename it in case some of these kind of generic names get confusing. But for this one, I'm going to delete this and I'm going to actually let's add a contact form. And this is to, help you capture leads. It's going to come with the default set of form fields, but you can also add something like, what is your current address? And in this moment, you have a text line, but if you wanted to do a drop down, how about we go with this? When are you looking to purchase your next home? you can make this a drop down and you can put in some pre-configured fields like next 60 days, I'm 6 months away, just browsing. And so now that is going to be a drop down where they can choose from those options. So you just put commas in between them, and then you can make it a required field or a not required field, and that will help you, build out the form the way that you would like. You can do a number of other things with this form. You can add a disclaimer, like if you're a Follow Up Boss user, you can paste the required disclaimer here that shows a privacy policy, and that will show here at the bottom if you add that there. You can see it there. What else can I show you? There are a few settings. You can change the padding. You can make it a dark background. You can if you like the way that looks, you can give it an ID that would be relevant to various other kind of lead capture data that you might want to retain from it. So let's pretend that this is the way that we want it. And now that we have a page that we're familiar with, let's clone it and let's make something totally different, like a home valuation page. So I'm going to clone the page, and I'm going to, first thing, go in and rename it because we don't want it to be called that. We're going to call this one Home Valuation Demo and change the slug. The slug is what the internet will, kind of pick up. So you want to go Home Valuation Demo. Typically, it's the same thing. You go ahead and hit save there. Like I say, you want to save often, and you want to change a few of these bits of SEO so that when you share it and when people find it, I like to copy this one because I'm going to use it a couple of times. Home valuation, Austin, neighborhood comps, etc. And then you can change the words here to whatever you would like. When you do share a page, you want to make sure that it is has the right description, and remember we named this Home Valuation Demo. You want to put that in there, and then you can also put an image, which would be, in this case, maybe it's like a calculator or something, but I'm just going to pick an image from the computer. So when you share this page now, that's the preview image that's going to be added to it. Back to the content. We don't want a search cover anymore because that's not really what this is about. So let's just delete this one. Let's add a new type of cover. So there's a number of covers that you can use. If you have a third-party home valuation, like Fellow or HomeBot or something like that, you could clear out your logo, maybe call this Home Valuation, Free Home Valuation. How about that? And you could even change the background image to something that you like better than this. So let's pick, I don't know, something that looks like, how about just a pretty home? Never go wrong with pretty home. The label, you might say, what's my home worth? Or maybe enter your address. So if you had something like Fellow, which would do this for you. You could take that URL that Fellow would give you. In this case, I'm just going to use their main URL. You can paste that there. Often I open it in a new window so that they can kind of stay focused on the site whenever I want them there. And now we've got a new search cover. Problem is it's at the bottom, so we want to move it up a little bit. We don't really need this gallery anymore. So I'm going to get rid of that gallery, and I'm going to put a different type of contact form now that's going to be focused on a home valuation. So get your free home valuation, and please provide the details of the home you wish to sell below. You can put a captcha here if you want. This is something that will kind of, if you get in spam or anything, but we don't tend to have too much of a problem with spam. Um, let's go ahead and change the form name to home valuation. This is going to show up in the CRM and in Follow Up Boss as whatever the form name is. So this is a good way to make sure you understand where things are coming from. And then what is your, oops, enter your current address. And you could do this a few ways. This is just a text field, but I tend to just have one simple entry. Less is more with these things. We probably want to drag that up a little bit above the message because that's kind of the key piece of information. Maybe the message isn't so important, so we'll make that optional because really the address is the most important thing. And instead of when are you looking to purchase your home, which is what we said on the others, when are you looking to sell your next home? And you could use that same I'm six, just thinking about it. And maybe make that not required, just in case they have, they don't want to necessarily give that information. So you've got some required fields, you've got some optional fields. Now you can hit save, and we can go out to the live website and type in that same URL that we just created. And we should see that page. So there we go. So that's how you create a page. Typically by cloning. You could have done the exact same thing by just going in and creating a new page and then adding your navigation, which would have been here, right? Adding different types of covers, which we chose this one, but you could have chosen a video or various other types of navigation. You might want to put a text box on the page, and so you can go and find a couple of different ways to do it. There's text with a background image. There's text with, left and right text. You could do like 3 columns. You could do collapsible tables like an FAQ. This would be a great spot for that, frankly, giving them some insight into the process. You might just add an image. You might want to put an image of yourself. So show you how that looks. So I'm going to put add image, and then I'll put myself there. And there's other versions of that. I'll delete that one. And I'll show you a different one that would be maybe a little bit better, where maybe you do an image on the left and then some text on the right. Meet Rick. My team and I are delighted to provide a comparable analysis for your home. And you can show the button or not. In this case, I might not. I might just add a little more text. Mind you, you could use our AI tools and dashboard to write some of this copy, which is something I would definitely encourage doing. I might slide this up a little bit so you can kind of, and again, you'll make it look better when you add more images and words, just trying to kind of show the key parts of the platform. So this is great for pages. If you had some content that you wanted to let them take a quick preview of, but then make them register before giving them more information, there's another very cool feature called a pop-up lead capture. And this right about now will show you a form, which you can change the words, and same thing before, you can change the fields, but you can also make it required. And in this moment, until they give that information, they can't get to the other data. Probably not the best play for a home valuation page. You kind of want them to not feel, required or restricted by something, but that's the simple way to create a page, clone a page that you've already got to kind of get a head start. The benefits of cloning a page is it's going to pull over much of the same blocks that you would use every time, like a form and a cover and a navigation and a footer. So I often suggest just cloning pages to start, and we will always leave you with some really good templates to use whenever you go through the setup process with us. Just quickly, so the other types of blocks, there are different types of galleries, mosaics, which are really cool. They will pull in, you know, let's go pick some photos and kind of show you. These have a nice little flex behavior to them when you stack a few together. Let's put, one more here, there, and then let's put a middle column here, and then let's put a right column. This is great for neighborhood links and things like that. Let me see if I can find a decent picture here of something, and then one more to make it balanced. And you can do all kinds of things with these images. And you can also determine if you want an overlay on them, which will make them kind of stand out a little bit more, or you might, and that's a per image, you put an overlay. And then there's a flex amount, which like 3 is going to give you kind of like like an expanding functionality and some nice animation. So that's a fun block just to kind of know about. A couple of other blocks. There's video block port. They're all very self-explanatory. When you start building a video gallery, you just paste your YouTube links in there. Your blog posts, if you want to pull in any of your recent blog posts, it'll pull in, whatever you would like. In fact, let's do not by tag, but let's do the other one that's there. It's a little bit better block for this, where it's just going to pull in some recent stories and whatnot. So that's how that works. And then, of course, anything you want to edit, just like the footer, if you need to change a logo, if you want to change a phone number, you can do all that right here within the builder. And so that's the basics of using the builder to create pages, editing blocks, and using some of the kind of key features.